Let's start up. Mhm.
We only have one life to live. Yeah, 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 yeah. We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. And we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes. Cause you won't make it. No matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. We should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people that we know, the life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this test, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people that we know, that life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this test, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life anyway. Yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. We have to live. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. We have to live it. We only have one life.
We only have one life to live. Oh my God, my brothers and sisters. We are here. 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 I'm telling you, man, I am so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. Oh my goodness. Round of applause. Round of applause. Thank you. 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 Whoa. King Simon in the building. How you feeling? How you feeling? We got a special guest with us today. Woo! Tonight we got a special guest. When I say we got a special guest, Baba, we got a special guest coming in at 9 o'clock. I'm telling you, we got a special guest coming in at 9 o'clock. So y'all don't want to miss this. Please share this, share this, share this, share this, share this. Share it, share it, share it, family. I'm telling you because the person that we got is that's coming in today is an elder. It's one of our elders, one of our babas, a doctor, professor, historian, a former bodyguard of Malcolm X's wife. Not only he's a griot, He's been a teacher of Africana study. He was the first imam for Malcolm X's mosque right after Malcolm X transition. We got Professor Baba James Smalls coming in. So that's going to be, and of course, he's speaking on, because due to the fact that we couldn't do the 2-day event this weekend, because of all the situation going on around the world. I don't even like to say the words and all that because I want to keep my vibrations up and I want to keep your vibrations up. That's why we only have one positive, we only have one life to live and we got to live it. Just make sure you live it positively. And he's going to be speaking about, or we're going to be speaking about today, African spirituality and how to apply it in your daily living. That's right. That's what it's all about. Once you understand that all of the religious, organized religion come out of the African spiritual system, the African guidance system. Once you know that, and then, they mixed it up and fixed it up and did what they had to do and created books and all kinds of stuff, but it is what it is. We have Baba James Smalls coming in to break that down. Of course, he was also part of the Happy documentary. He's been a part of course, Hidden Colors documentary. He's also was the consultant for the movie on Epic, the Godfather of Harlem. So if you look through the credit, you'll see consultant for it because he had to make sure everything was at least said appropriately. Remember, it's only a movie. It's not a documentary. So a lot of stuff was fictitious, but he tried to keep the integrity of certain things because Bumpy and Malcolm did know each other and all that. So we're going to delve into it. We're going to delve into African spirituality and how our people carried African spirituality here to the shores of America through whatever means, whether it was Islam, Christianity, Hebrews, whatever means, but it was still carried because it had to be carried. It had those different modalities had to save our lives. And some of us still came with our spiritual system, whether it's Ife, whether it's from Santeria, whether it's using astrology, numerology, astronomy, cosmology, whatever. We carried it still with us, the mathematics and the symbols. So Professor Smalls will be with us in the next 6 minutes right here. I want to find out where y'all hailing from. Where y'all coming from? Oh my God, I know where I come from. I am an Afro-Cubano Jamaican living in America. So I want to know where you come from. So tell me where you come from so I can shout you out. Where are you from? Where are all of you from? So call in right now because King Simon is here for all of you. Look at the big sign behind my head. King Simon, that's right. So I am your brother. And King Simon only comes from that 3-letter word, the 3-letter word right there as kin. That means kith and kin, bloodline. We are descendants of great people in our bloodline. So that kin of the king is what I'm talking about. So where are you calling from? Sister Mer. Oh my goodness. Big up to Sister Mer. Oh my goodness. Veggie Gazism cooking channel. Oh my God. Veggie Gazism. That sounds like a book that's about to come out. So big up to Veggie Gazism. Where are you coming from? The Bronx. Big up to the Bronx. Big up to Brooklyn. Big up. Where you come? Texas is in the building. Oh my God. Chicago. Oh my God. Chicago in the building. Oh my God. I'm telling you. Oh my God. Where is that? Wyoming? Where is that? The West Indies? Vicky from WI? What's that? Wisconsin? Where is that? Wisconsin? So you got to spell that out. Oh, Indiana in the building. Oh my God. Thank you, Indiana, for coming in. Dr. Afrika was from Indiana also. Big up. Indigenous ascendants in New Jersey. Oh my God. Cincinnati, Ohio in the building. Oh my God. I'm so happy today. Yes. Oh. California in the building. Norfolk, Virginia. Oh my God. Is in the building. Cincinnati. Oh my God. What? Oh, no. Virginia again. Virginia is in the building. Oh my God, I'm serious. Milwaukee. Oh my God, Milwaukee is here also. I'm so happy that all of you were able to make it today because, like I said, we're speaking about African spirituality and how to apply it in your daily living. Washington Heights, New York. Now I got to come back. Brooklyn in the house. Brooklyn is in the house when you're in Ghana. I'm telling you. When we was out there for the whole thing, that the big celebration we had earlier this year, Brooklyn was in the house. So big up to Brooklyn all the time. I go to Japan, Brooklyn in the house. Boston in the building. What's up, Boston? By the way, I'm St. Albans, New York. Stop playing. Big up to St. Albans all the time. Love from California. Oh my God, Cali in the building. I want to go back to Cali, to Cali, to Cali. So big up to California in the building. We're going to have Baba Smalls come up at 9 o'clock exactly. We will have the great Baba up here at 9 o'clock exactly. South Carolina is here. What? South Carolina? All right. Like now, I see. Let me see how many people I see liking the. I want to see how many people liking this play. This thing. Okay, we got 57 people watching so far. Share this video. Share this video. Share this video. Share this on your social media. And only 44 likes. Oh my God, I don't like that. You need to boost up the likes. Boost up the likes. South Carolina is in the building. Please share the video because it helps the algorithms. It helps the algorithm. So please share the video because we got Baba Smalls coming in, the extraordinary one, in the next 3 minutes. And I want to hype up the place. You know me? I have to go because I am an Afro Cubano Jamaican inside America. I'm just letting you know what this is all about. So I'm letting you all, we're going to have a good time today because we got one of the great historians coming in. I got to mix it up. South Carolina's in the building. The Boogie Down Bronx is in the building. Come on, push up them likes. What? We got 56 watching and 60 likes. I like that. Now, I like that. I like them numbers. I like them numbers. So keep on boosting. Share the video because we have the extraordinary Baba coming in. He's also in the Happy documentary, the new one that came out. He's also in Hidden Colors. He's also featured as a consultant for the Godfather of Harlem. Of course, you know he was the bodyguard of the late Ella, Malcolm X's sister, and also he was the imam over the Mosque Inc. that Malcolm X left for the family. He was the imam, the first imam to take over. So we got the Baba. So we gotta send love for him. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put his stuff, his information in the Cash App, so y'all, and the Cash App and all the stuff to show him love. Make sure you show love to Baba, and it's coming from one of my team members. They're gonna put it up. Let me see if I can put it up also. We're gonna put it up also, so we know we can put it up over here, so y'all can show that love to Baba Smalls. If you want to do a consultation. If you want to do a consultation with Baba Smalls, we're going to put that up on the screen also. We're going to have him, remember, for a consultation or to show love and support for Baba Professor Smalls, you can email him at CSMALL, that's C Smalls, 1926 at AOL.com for PayPal. Also, you can Cash App Baba Smalls at Dr. James Smalls. All right, that's Dr. James Smalls. That's Cash App. So make sure we're about to bring the Baba on in one more minute. Let me get my African drums ready because I'm going to play one of his dear friends. I'm going to play right now and bring him on with well-deserved drumming applause because I'm going to bring a Baba for it. Well, one of his dear friends, who was also a dear friend of mine, Kamati Denazulu. I'm going to bring him on with the late great Kamati Denazulu, man. One of my good friends, man. I missed him so much. He was a Cancerian brother, very good brother, man. And I used to hang out at his house in Queens, and he used to come and visit me in Brooklyn. So big up to the late great Nana Kamati Denazulu as we show love for Baba Smalls right here as we welcome him on King Simon Presents. Baba, give him some drumming. Oh. It's not that loud. I got to turn it up. Let me turn it up. There you go. Aye. Kamati Denazulu. I love his drums, man. I love his drums. But we're going to bring on the Baba with a well-deserved round of applause right now as we welcome Baba Professor James Smalls in King Simon Presents. What's up, Baba? Hello, peace. How you doing, sir?
Crazy, brother. I'm doing fine, Baba. I'm doing fine. Lafayette to everybody and Hotep to everybody.
Yes, sir.
We were trying to come to you live and direct, and then this Euro-coded 19 thing got in our way. So we're coming through you.
Yes, sir.
Through the ether, through the air.
That's right.
By the technology that we gave to this devil.
That's right.
To move forward. So here we are.
Here we are.
We do our thing.
How you been? How's the family with you? How's everything going?
And I,
You're breaking up.
I've been well, and things are good.
Good.
I think, yeah. What must I do to not break up?
Oh, you sound
never
good.
used this system before.
You're all right. You sounded good. Still sounding good. You sounding
Okay.
good now. Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So the family is doing well. Everybody in Africa is doing well. Here, all from here to Africa is doing well.
Yes, sir. I was on the phone with Ghana much of the day. They're struggling through this thing, but they're doing okay.
Right.
All things considered.
Good.
So it's a struggle.
I just want to let the people know that, we had.
So I want people to know.
Go ahead.
Now I wanted folks to know that we're going to be talking about African spirituality, and just so they can understand what African spirituality and get out of the mythology on spirituality. African spirituality is the culture of godness.
Right.
Okay. Period.
Yes.
And if you understand that the culture of godness means you live your reality, that's your spirituality. Anything else is fake imagination. That's why we're not getting anywhere with
it. That's right.
Got to be real.
That's right. Now, I just want.
That's just to open up.
I just want to let people know.
Raise the curiosity.
I want to let people know when they support you, they're supporting a lot of machines behind you, brother. Can you tell the people what are some of the machines that are you supporting from the hotel, all the stuff that you've been doing and all that? And then we're going to post that Cash App and everything up again, because people need to keep on supporting out and love you. Please talk about that real quick before we start. Are you all right?
Now, the technology is a little shaky. How can we tighten it up?
Let me see. You sounding good on my part. That's what I don't understand. Are you getting a delay? How you doing? Are you getting a delay? Oh, I think you froze, Baba. Let me see. Baba froze. I think Baba froze, family. I think he froze. Let's see what we're gonna do. If we're gonna, more likely is over in his area, because I know. All right, you there?
I can move downstairs, move closer to my router.
Yeah. Because I know last time you was downstairs, right? And now you're upstairs, huh?
How long are we
we're good.
To be
we're
on?
Good. Well, probably for an hour and a half. That's it. Hour and a half. About an hour and a half.
Okay.
You gonna move?
I know I should have at least that.
You want to move it? You want to move it?
Yeah, you carry on for 5 minutes and let me go downstairs and see if being closer to the router will help, because I'm on the second floor.
All right, so I'll turn you off.
I spent a lot of money with Verizon for this thing, so I shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah, I'll turn you off and bring you right back.
Give me 5 minutes. That's all I need.
Got you. No problem, Baba. No problem. All right. Like we're going to give Baba 5 minutes. We're going to give Baba 5 minutes until he gets everything right. Want to big up the people from Happy Film. What's up, Happy Film? Big up. Yes, that's right. Mr. Smalls will be back. Just want to make sure his router is good and his Wi-Fi is good out there. I know mine is strong. I'm looking at I got like 2 computers on right now. And I know I'm strong. I'm very strong right now. And I just want to make sure everybody shows that love for Baba. We're going to put this up on the screen until Baba is ready, until he resets up downstairs or in his house somewhere, and we're going to put it back on the screen. I just want to let everybody know, when you support Baba Smalls, you are supporting a lot of machines behind him, So please show your love to Baba Smalls for consultations, to show love and support for Baba Smalls, please, you could email, you could either email him if you want a consultation at csmalls1926@aol.com. And for PayPal also, you can use that same email, csmalls1926@aol.com for PayPal, or for Cash App. You can, the Cash App is $Dr. James Smalls. That's $Dr. James Smalls. So as he get prepared, he's setting himself up. Want to make sure everything is going well. And just want to remind y'all, I already got my merch on sale. That's my book. That's my motivational book, as far as introducing you to my world of promotion and production and how to promote your own business from a small level to a large level. I got sponsorship in the back, how to do sponsorship and all that kind of stuff right here in the back of this book. King Simon, No Promotion is Bad Promotion. And this is, of course, is one of my bestsellers. Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. That's my book. Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. And don't forget, I got children's health book called Numbers Are Simple, Our Children's Health is Important. That's Numbers Are Simple, Our Children's Health is Important. So we got that going on also. And every time you support the books, you support Dr. Laila Africa also. You support Dr. He is my publisher. Him and his wife are my publishers, and their publishing company is called Charleschild Publishing. So every time you buy any 3 of those books, that's what it is. Don't worry, we're gonna definitely get everything straight as soon as Baba Smalls come back in. We're gonna get everything straight. We're going to bring him in momentarily. Yes, we are on a delay. Just want to let you know that we are on a delay. It's about 100 of us on the chat. Make sure we put them likes up. 76 likes. We got 101 people on the chat. Baba Smalls has been in and out already. We just make sure the router and everything is right on his side. Just want to make sure. Want to big up everybody from the Happy Film family, all the Happy Film family. Big up to him, of course. I shouted out that earlier because Baba Smalls is in that documentary. And of course, he's talking about finance and all the information from out of Kemet and how they was also under a financial system and a financial growing and stable system. So can't wait for that doc. I think the documentary, go to happyfilm.com if you want further information about that. And once again, let's see if Baba is ready. He should be ready now. Let's see if he's ready. Let's see if he's ready. You ready, Baba? All right, so let me bring you on. I can see you. Let's bring Baba on. You ready, Baba?
I'm ready. And
okay.
Everything should be good because I'm on the first floor. The router is only 1 floor. I just moved my library a floor up. So
wow.
I account for that.
Okay.
I got a lot of grandkids and they'll be running me out of different spaces, So,
yes.
But that's cool. That's cool.
Well, I can hear you much better. It sounds like it's much more clear. I want to thank you very much for even accommodating and coming on the show today. I know, like I said, we were supposed to do a all-day workshop yesterday and then a public workshop today. But of course, due to what's going on around the world, it's all got affected. But at least we got social media, we got the technology, and we're working the technology as much as we can. Like I said, family, please support his Cash App, $ Dr. James Smalls. That's Cash App. Any all dollars, $5, whatever you can do. Remember, he has a big machine behind him, a lot of stuff going on, not only here in America, but in Africa. Now, tell us about some of the stuff that you got going on in Africa and here, brother Baba Smalls.
Well, right now, we have a hotel.
Yes, sir.
It's not just me. I put together a group of 80 of us, brothers and sisters. We've been together for 15 years. Myself, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Sister Leah Williams, Brother Thomas Bell, and Brother Dr. Bill Jones, we have the majority of share. But we didn't want to do this project for ourselves. We wanted to have the Black community involved. So we got 80 other brothers and sisters. Some put in 500, some put in 1,000. And we've struggled for 15 years to keep the business going. And it's still going. And we're right now, before this COVID thing hit,
yes, we
were negotiating with and it's all just on hold with the African hotel. It's called the Accra City.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to come in as our partners, equal partners, so we can upgrade. We're right now closed, but we still have staff working who we pay every month. So we have 10 people working to make sure the place is stayed safe and secured and all of this. What's going on this week, the government called the Ministry of Health, and they want to use 20 of our rooms in the 20-room block where when people are coming into the country, before they are allowed in the country, they'll house them there. So we agreed to that. I was trying to figure out what could I do to help Ghana. So when I got that call, I was very happy because this is something we can do.
Yes, sir.
To assist what's going on there.
Right.
So that's the situation now. We also have a budding credit union.
Yes.
There that's just growing. We're just putting that together. And in Ghana, there's about something close to 7,000 or 8,000 African Americans, African Caribbeans who live there, and maybe more than that now. Most people think this year of return was the first time we were going to Ghana, but no, there are thousands and thousands of us who over the years have made our homes there, have opened businesses there, and are part of the institutions there.
Right.
So, and we welcome this for us coming to other African nations also as time go on.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot going on as far as the hotel is concerned. I'm glad that y'all have continued the development. Over 80 people who say that we can't come together and build.
Right. And what's beautiful about that, over the 80 people, we've only had 2 people who dropped out.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, because she was opening a school in California and needed the money. And the others, they felt a little insecure about how we were trying to manage it. You know, we're Black nationalists, Pan-Africanists, learning how to be business people. And we didn't want to approach it strictly from a business perspective. And so that made some people insecure.
Right.
But out of the 82 people who started the project 15 years ago, 80 of us are still fully engaged in the project. And we haven't had a single negative incident with any of the investors. You know, that's a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing, man, that people can work together all these years and do what you got to do and make it happen. You know, Baba, I know you, I know you've been a part of this also, this Happy documentary, which is
that's been a fun piece.
Yes, that's on Happy. Happyfilms.com. I think that's the website, happyfilms.com. And brother, I know brother Taki is up here on the live right now. He's on the stream right now. So big up to Taki and the whole family from Happy Films, Film. You know, and what briefly just tell us why was it so important to do a documentary of that caliber, please?
Well, Brother Taki brought this forward, and we've been working on it for like 3 years now. And what we wanted to do and what his vision was, and we've tried to carry that vision out, is to show that economics is the foundation of any civilization. And that we as African people invented the concept and had a successful experience with it, starting in the Nile Valley and probably earlier of Kemet, that lasted for thousands of years, when we were able to tie our economics with our politics and our culture, with our spiritual system at the center of our culture, understanding that that's a marriage of 3 that must take place if you're to be successful. And so we look back at the Nile Valley and saw how the resources that the Happy River, which is the name of the Nile, brought to that part of Northeast Africa, allowed the people to organize and build an economic foundation that produced one of the greatest civilizations in the history of the world, second to none. And if we could do it then, by learning and using those same principles, we can do it now. And so the film is trying to show you, yes, we look at the past, but we look at the past to see what we can borrow, what we can learn, and bring to the present to create the future. And that's the key to the piece.
And I went to the actual screening. It was very beautiful, very well done, very put together. Everybody that were in the video had a lot of information to give to our people, and to really show, to really show where we're going with finance and our history into the future. That's what I really enjoyed about it. I think I brought a friend with me, and she really enjoyed it also. And big up to Felicia. Felicia is here too. Big up to Felicia. She's also here.
Yeah.
And so enough respect to you, Felicia, and the whole Happy Film family. I want to thank
everybody. Happy is going to be an extraordinary document that the public really need to buy into, because it's more than just the video. It's almost a step-by-step playbook on how to look at your situation economically from a psychological perspective, a historical perspective, a political perspective, an economic perspective, a cultural and spiritual perspective, and how to do it now, how to open a business now, how to find finance now, how to learn the relationship between your community and your economics.
Right. And that's very important, because I think, a lot of people may claim that our people have fallen from grace, but I've heard you say before that the young people, you was very proud of some of the young people that's been coming up into the knowledge right now. And you've always supported a lot of us at the debates with Sarnetta or Brother Rich or different places or my events. You've always supported us. And I want to always continue to show you support and love, because you are my elder, just like Baba, our late great Dr. Afrika, who passed on, and people like Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark and the various others that has moved on to the spiritual realm. And
a note on that, we had some sad news today, Father Lawrence Lucas, one of our great giants, joined the ancestors last night. He had a heart attack. It wasn't the COVID. His father was, a fighter, but he was in his 90s. And I met Father in the late 60s, and he was with Malcolm in the early 60s. And this is a Roman Catholic priest.
Right.
And I can say it to Father, because he's with the ancestors now. As long as I know Father, he had a black woman at his side.
That's right.
And didn't give a damn what the church thought of it. A beautiful black woman. And you never saw him in the street unless he had a 9mm on his hip or on his ankle. I attended the Resurrection School on 149th Street, which he ran for years, one of the best schools in Harlem, if not New York. He was one of the founders of the December 12th movement, along with Abubadika Sonny Carson, Viola Plummer, Coltrane Shimarang, and our own great Alambe Brath. But Father was one of the 5 that founded that organization. He was an extraordinary man to maintain his priesthood in the church, so that he could serve our people in the community with the money of the Catholic Church to build them good schools for him. When he got raised to the last level he took in the priesthood, he called me on the phone and said he wanted me to be there. I was out, I don't care about that Christian stuff, He said, I want you to come, bring a stool, bring some kente cloth, and install me in front of him. So the priest didn't know what hit them that day. We came in with the drumming, with the big kente, and wrapped Father up and gave him the 3 seats on the stool. I poured the libation right in the church. And Father was just glowing. He was being very stern, like, of course, what I'm saying? But I knew he was laughing his heart out, right? Because he had just pulled another one on the Catholic Church.
I've heard him also on Gary Bird's show, Imhotep Gary Bird's show years ago. I used to listen to him. I never really got to meet him, but I know I've heard all of y'all shout him out and big them up over the years. I want to read what Professor and Dr. Leonard Jeffrey says on his Facebook about it. He says, I'll go, Ame. Brother Brother Professor James Smalls has informed us that another great tree in the African forest has fallen in the village of Harlem. Father Lawrence E. Lucas, one of our great defenders, passed around during this time by cardiac arrest. A memorial at some time will occur, and we will announce it. For now, please take notice. That's what he says on his
Yes.
So big. Yes, go ahead.
One of the things we should note him for,
yes,
we know what the December 12th movement is.
Yes, sir.
But we didn't know he was one of the founders. You see,
Whoa.
I knew.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There was 5 founders: Alambe Brath, Areola Plummer, Abubadika Sonny Carson, Coltrane Shimaranga, and Father Lawrence Lucas. They're the 5 founders of the December 12th movement. That tells you the kind of priest he was.
Wow.
Straight up and straight ahead for the revolution.
And being a priest with a wife.
Hello. A beautiful one, too. Part of it.
He's a real black man. That's what I'm talking about. I know I couldn't be a priest without a wife. I don't know how that works. No, those that are just tuning in, there's like 135 people watching. I got only 101 likes. Y'all need to up them likes because we got the algorithms we want. Make sure Baba gets. And remember, right now for consultations, marriage consultations, and otherwise, please show Baba some love, monetary love, support. You can actually support him via his email. You want to find out for consultations, you can actually go to his email him at csmalls1926@aol.com. That's csmalls1926@aol.com. And also that email is for PayPal if you want to give him a PayPal love and show some monetary love through Cash App, which is $Dr. James Smalls. That's $Dr. James Smalls. Why I keep on stressing that? Because we don't have these Babas around for a long time. And if they're doing the work and continue to do the work, we got to keep on supporting what they're doing from here all the way to the motherland. We got to keep on supporting. Now, Baba, moving forward into what we're about to speak of, you know, a lot of people are probably a little misconstrued about African spirituality and what it entails and what it is. Is Christianity a form of it? Is Islam a form of it? Is Hebrews a form of it? Is Buddhism a form of it? What is African spirituality, sir?
Well, let me try to be like real clear on that. Sometimes I have to step on the foot of some of my other brothers and sisters, but I don't mind that either. African spirituality is your reality. It's being conscious of your present moment in the moment and be a full participant in that moment with the utilization, instructions, and information of your ancestors. African spirituality is not magic. It's not witchcraft. It's not spookism. It's not mythology. Mythology are teaching tools we use to teach concepts, ideas, and principles through metaphor, because I can take one little story that runs for 2 minutes and teach you what you would need a book to learn if you took it another way in the Western system. And so when we talk about spirituality, we're talking about reality. African spirituality is a marriage of understanding between cosmology, ecology, and the human being. That relationship that you spawn between the cosmos, between the ecology environment you live in and yourself, that's spirituality. Bodies, the matter, the 140-something bits of minerals that make up the handful of dust that's expanded by the nearly 89% water, is nothing but a house that allows for the electromagnetic and all the other electrical pulsations that comes from all over the universe and from the earth and the things that grow out of this earth that makes you up. You're not your body, you live in your body. That's African culture. The you is the energy construction that you form through concepts, ideas, and principles that's based on ethical, moral concepts and ideas about cosmology and ecology. Mm-hmm. We should properly not call it spirituality because everybody's playing on that in such a silly way. Right. We should call it African sacred science because that's what it is.
African
sacred science. Out of that understanding, we produce mathematics, arithmetic, geometry, cosmology, astronomy, and then created astrology to explain astronomy to the masses. Yeah. We created writing systems. All of that came out of our spiritual understanding of our relationship with nature and cosmology. Managing that relationship with the kind of respect, reverence, and honor it deserves is what the journey should be about. All of us, in every African language that I've studied,
yes, sir,
the word for God means the totality of creation, everything, all things at once is the divine. That means there's no room for nothing else.
Right.
So what are we? We're not separate things then. Mm-hmm. We are but aspects of expression of that divine essence, having our very, very peculiar experiences. Mm. And if we can really grasp that, you got the whole thing. You just have to then work on it.
Right, right.
You know?
But
it's not a thing outside of you.
Right.
It's a happening inside of you. And yet it's still all about you. But the same thing that's all about you is inside of you. You are a miniature universe.
Yes.
Every law that governs the environment you live in and the cosmology you live in govern this environment and this cosmology that you live in. And your job is to gain an understanding through being instructed and informed by the wisdom of your ancestors so that you can take it all to a next level of expression and teach the next generation. In short, our journey is to become God again. At the end of the day, when the body becomes aged, ill, or broken, and we have to discard it, it rots and goes back to the minerals of the earth. And the energy that is the real you finds itself merging with the rest of the energy that is a part of cosmology and ecology. And there are processes and steps and things which priests and priestesses must study to learn about, because everything happened on a scale of something that Africans invented called time. And so when we think of this, think of ourselves as God having a human experience, think of ourselves as an expression of an aspect of the divine totality, which is omnipotent, omnipresent, omnipotent, and supreme, so there's no room for nothing else to exist but it. And that means that only thing that we can be is an aspect of it. But in being an aspect, we are a replica and a miniature duplicate of it. So what we should be doing is trying to realize that divinity within us so that we can understand the divinity that is without us. They're the same thing.
You know,
spirituality is all of those rituals.
Yes, sir.
All of those music, the songs, the dance, the rhythms we create to teach the concepts, ideas, and principles to the rest of the people who don't have the opportunity to learn this, because somebody's got to farm the land, somebody got to raise the food, somebody's got to build the homes, somebody got to prepare the lights, somebody's got to do the plumbing, somebody's got to build the roads. So they don't have the chance to learn this body of wisdom. So those of us who say we are studying to be priests and priestess, which is a lifelong study, our job is to try to learn the wisdom of how to be a human being, how to be a God being, how to be one with nature, how to be one with cosmology, how to understand cosmology, how to understand ecology and your role in it.
Mm-hmm.
and how to replicate that in your social ecology.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was a long answer.
No. We needed that answer.
That's my understanding from the multiple teachers I've had through the years, both from here, the Caribbean, and the continent of Africa, males and females,
Right.
Instructors.
And we needed that type of answer because, like I told people, class is in session. A lot of people are thinking that all this new information, or whatever they call this new information, it's really not new. People talk about emerald tablets, they'll talk about this, but if you read, I got the emerald tablets. What you're saying is exactly what it says. So, and you could go to the Kabbalion and it says it. You go into the Quran and say it. You could go into the Bible.
All of the other.
You act, Baba. You cut off. Oh, there you go.
All the other systems of spirituality and religion in the world,
yes, sir,
are fragments from the periphery of the African system. The first time the universe manifested itself as a human being, it was an African woman. Because a man cannot give birth. He doesn't have the facilities or the faculty. So the beginning must be a feminine beginning. And our ancestors acknowledges this. There's a book called The Pyramid Text.
Yes.
And it has a Genesis story. And in this story, Amun-Ra says, I created myself out of myself. I caused creation to come in existence. Or he used another word. He says, I created myself out of myself. I caused existence to exist so that existing might exist. And when I realized I, Amun, existed, Ma'at was at my side, the feminine principle of harmony, balance, reciprocity, and justice, and so forth. But he goes further. In the whole story of creation, he talks about creating Shu and Tep-Nut, creating Geb and Nut, and creating Asar and Aset, and all of the other things in the universe. And then Amun says, and I expanded in them. But his last verse of creation, he said, and I came from my mother, Nun. And this is the document our ancestors left for us. And this is the oldest written document on such a religio-spiritual treaty known to mankind. That doesn't mean, we get caught up in the Western thing, or a woman is God and a man is God. No, that's not what is being said. God contains all of the elements that we call gender. But the primary causation has to be feminine. That's the creating passageway into the world. You watch so many people, so many sisters who get injured, abused, misused, and so forth. And then in a culture that don't allow you to express the atrocity that was done against you, the injury that was done against you, the harm. So to defend yourself, you attach yourself to the abuser. Now remember, I coined the term in '92, post-slavery trauma syndrome.
Yes.
Trying to explain that concept because I had it happen to people in my family, sisters and others.
Yes.
And what I try to tell sisters today, just if you understand the divine is in you, whatever you can imagine, because all we know about the divinity is what we have imagined and what we have been able to realize or actualize from that imagination. Well, no matter how great that is, it's not greater than you.
That's right.
Because whatever you call the divine, Allah, God, Olodumare, whatever, the only way it can create is through the womb and the vagina of a woman. Nobody's dropping out of the sky created by nobody's God. Nobody's popping up out of the ground or out of the ocean. The only way creation takes place, you go between the pillows of heaven. And, in all of the secret societies, you go to church, you wonder why they got those two pillows at the pulpit. No. You go to the Masonic Lodge, why do you have to walk in between two pillows? They're the legs of a woman giving birth to intellect, giving birth to spirituality, giving birth to human beingness. The only creator in the world is your womb. So all the other creators we're talking about, even if there's another one, the only faculty it has to create is through the womb of a woman, by the pathway through the vagina, a word we're scared to say because we're so busy abusing it.
Exactly.
And misusing
it. And what did Dr. Ben said years ago, sir?
Heaven is between the leg of a black woman. And people tried to throw the old man out of the church back then.
Yeah.
When I first met him, I wanted to throw him out of my mouth. I actually did throw him out of my mouth.
You did?
Oh, yeah. Doc and I have known each other since 67.
Right.
But then I learned who the man was.
Wow.
You know, he was a God walking the earth.
Since 67?
I'm coming back to spirituality with the woman at the center of it.
Yes.
But of course, woman, you cannot create except by the seed of a male. But even on that first occasion, where you were the first manifestation of human being, the black woman, not any other, all the other mutations that have sailed off about, they didn't exist then.
Right.
Black is black.
That's right.
The seed came with you, you know, and don't get confused. I'm not up in this gender confusion thing. No, am I in dual spirit persons thing? Because my culture and my history says life can only come when the seed of a male and the egg of a female find union. And you can't find union unless you're opposites. That means you're working like the law of nature. Nature works on the principle of cause and effect,
right,
or what we call opposites. And so when we talk about spirituality, let's stop playing. Let's talk about reality. Don't tell me about a shun. And then everybody wants to be a shun, and the shun is always supposed to be attractive and sexy. There wasn't no woman named a shun. The feminine beauty is used as a symbol of the force in nature and the concept, idea, and principle that is Oshun, which is embedded in every human being, male and female. Okay. And of course, Oshun at its core is intuition, but it must be able to attract. And so the power of attraction is an important part of that principle that you must develop in yourself if you're to have the Oshun energy to work for you. But the intuitive nature that guides you through the obstacles of the world is the core of who Oshun is. The other things is to help her do that, because it is Oshun that brings peace, harmony, and balance, as we use in the Yoruba pantheon. That Oshun is the Ma'at when we come to the Kemetic pantheon.
Yes, sir. Yes.
There was no woman named Ma'at walking around with no daggone scale. That's a symbol.
Right.
All right. To explain to what we would call an illiterate population using methodology that would make them literate, which is Medu-Neter. Sadly, I hear many teachers say Medu-Neter was the language of the priesthood and it was secret. Who would make such an elaborate thing and put it on everything for the world to see if it was secret? Stop being silly. If it was secret, you would have hid it. Nobody would have ever found it.
Right.
That language was created to teach the masses of people who were not literate. The few who had the opportunity to study in the universities, which we falsely call temples.
Okay.
There were places of learning. Those who were chosen to take that responsibility had a responsibility of bringing the wisdom of the universe to those who had to herd the sheep, plow the land, till the field, fish the rivers, make the nets, make the boats, build the houses, because they didn't have time to learn this stuff. So for those of us who say we are priests and priestess, we are your servants. You're not our servant. We flip the script because the white man flipped the script. And he think if he's some big shot priest or priestess, then you have to bow at their feet. That's all wrong. The priest and the priestesses come to serve you.
Right, right.
You're the most worthy among us. And so we have to change kind of how we look at not only spirituality, but the people who say they're delivering the teachings and the principles. And this requires study, brothers and sisters. And our ancestors have left us a lot of information, not just in Kemet,
yes, sir,
but in Ghana, in Chad, in Cameroon, in Senegal, in Nigeria. Among the different ethnic nations, they have either written script, a lot of written scripts in Africa. Don't let anybody say we are just illiterate people, but literate, I mean, the literate, how do you say, what's the word? It's not literate, it's the, where we teach through just verbal teaching rather than written word.
Right,
no, the concept. My brain got tired. I'm working all day moving that.
Right.
But the oral tradition.
The oral tradition, right.
The oral tradition actually is a much more powerful tradition than the written tradition.
Right.
But we're in trouble with our oral tradition because our cultural system is fragmented and the avenues for passing along the wisdom have been interrupted.
That's what I was about to ask. How do you keep it pure? How do you keep it pure?
You've got to fix the fractures. You got to fix the broken consciousness. You got to learn history again. Dr. Noble says the history will erase the mystery and allow you to work your black magic. Then you got magic. Your magic is your truth being lived out by you. And you cannot have a spirituality, and this is where we come back to the movie Happy. If you separate your spirituality from your culture, it doesn't exist. And you can't separate your culture from your politics because the culture creates your politics. And you can't separate your culture and your politics from your economics because your politics, which was created by your culture, manages your economics. But all of them is guided by your spiritual wisdom, which has been passed down to you from the ancestors and who gave you the tools to learn the wisdom from the ecology and the cosmology. African has scientists that learn astronomy. But everybody couldn't sit out there all night watching no damn stars and constellations. Somebody had to do that.
That's right.
So how does he teach that to the masses who do other things? You create astrology to explain astronomy. You understand?
Right.
Those who may not have your mathematical or scientific skills and length of time observating.
Yes.
And so the priest and priestess are at first the servant of the masses. And we didn't use the term, by the way, priest or priestess. I'm using it for today.
Right.
But these were the scientists of our day. These were the engineers, the doctors, the legal mind. When you mastered Ma'at, you had mastered what is the laws and other legal apparatus of the day. When you mastered mathematics and geometry, you were a scientist. When you could write the Everest Papyrus and the Joseph C. Smith Papyrus, which are medical books out of ancient Kemet, you were medical doctors. You were specialists in your fields. And so we need to stop calling ourselves priests. That's the white man thing. We were masters of the sacred science of the universe. And the job of the ancestors was to lead the wisdom of the universe, to instruct and inform us on how to live an optimal life on Earth in harmony with all other living things and the rest of cosmology and ecology.
Those that are just tuning in, we are speaking with Professor James Smalls, of course, and we're here. Like I got up there, got his Cash App, show him love, got his PayPal, show him love. Of course, my PayPal, my Cash App is up, shows love, but everything will be in the description bar, description below this. Now, Baba, all that's been said, and all all that we've gone through and to where we're at today, how can we get this type of information back into us and our children?
Right.
Our children are running amok and running astray.
Listen,
Yes,
I've had to wrestle with mine.
Yes,
know,
sir.
and then have to wrestle with some of my grandchildren now.
Mm-hmm.
One of them told their mama recently, well, y'all didn't give us a religion.
Mm.
And we said, no, we gave you a way of life that was superior to any religion. I never raised any of my children. I was an imam and wouldn't raise my children in Islam, okay? I was using Islam because it was a political weapon of the day.
Right.
Okay? But I didn't raise my children in it. I wanted them to be free to be Africans, to grow, to understand. And so no matter what so-called religious system you find and study, all of them have one thing in common. We don't pay attention to it because that's not how they're teaching.
Right.
If you're studying the Yoruba tradition, you have these forces called the Orishas. Mm-hmm. If you're studying the Voodoo, you have these forces called the Loas. Mm-hmm. If you're studying the Akan, you have these forces called the Abosun. Mm-hmm. Yes, and if you study Islam, you have these forces called the Pearls of Faith. There's 99 Orishas in Islam that they know. If you study the Hebrew Israelites, you got 12 major ones called the 12 tribes. Mm-hmm. If you, with the Christ thing, you got 12, you call them the disciples. The disciples, the tribes, the Loas, the Orishas, the Netarus, they're all the same thing. They're the principles that we are supposed to use the wisdom system to inculcate and grow in our character. So we will develop to be the masters of our destiny. Okay. Mm-hmm. But instead, we bow down to religion and we worship altars and statues. And I'm talking about those in the tradition too. Get up off your damn knees from those altars and statues. There are certain ceremonies that require, out of respect, to show devotion to concepts and ideas. Right. But sometimes we get confused and think we're talking about the object. Mm-hmm. The object is a representative of something. Make that clear before you have people binding their minds. You know, the Christian religion, the Islamic religion, the Jewish religion, have you surrender yourself to some external being to be a slave. And so what else you can be a slave? Anything stronger than you come along can make you a slave then. Mm. And then we take that same concept of slavery into everything else we do. So everybody and anything we encounter makes us a slave if they got more than us or know more than us or stronger than us. Mm. Do not leave Christianity, Judaism, and Islam to go and become a slave of traditional African religions. Mm.
I gotta applaud that.
Many of us are doing that.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
The priests and the priestesses are your servants. You're not their servants. The more you know, the greater servant you are to those who don't know. Because the only reason you know is to impart it to those who don't know. Mm. So if your cup is full, it doesn't belong to you. You got to give it to those whose cup is not full, taking only what you need to get another cup to go and give to those whose cup is not full. Y'all understand that? Mm. This is some of the basic things of our tradition.
Mm. You know, and that's a powerful thing, Papa. That's a powerful thing. It brought tears to my eyes just saying what you said, because so many of us out there that's watching that I've known from the past are looking for the way, quote unquote, the way. I've been down every road. I've been through the 5%. We've been through Christianity first, Rasta, 5%, Islam, Hebrew.
The first thing, see, the 5% got the verbiage right.
Right, got the verbiage right.
But the teaching wrong. Mm. Nation had the verbiage right, but then they brought the wrong culture in to do the teaching. Mm. If you bring in an Arab culture, then you got to deify Arab language. You got to deify Arab mythology. You got to deify Arab culture. Then where does that leave your culture? Mm. You got to deify their dead ancestors. Where does that leave your ancestors? It means you've become a slave.
Right. Right.
When I was in Mecca back in '74, yeah, I was in Mecca back in '74. I was there too, you know. I was in Mecca back in '74. Them crackers trying to kill me over there. They're worse than the crackers over here.
Wow.
There was a brother who was helping me out of my crises. You know, his name was Bukra.
Bukra.
And Bukra, there was another brother who he was dressed up like the Arab and a little bit, you know, and his name was Bilal. And Bukra, we interpret Bilal over here as being the first one to call the Adhan. Africans interpret Bilal as someone who has given up your culture for the culture of another. Isn't that interesting? When I heard that, I go like, okay, brother, you need to wake up another cabinet in your mind. Somebody just gave you some freedom truth. And so it's very important that we study these literatures because they now have our lives wrapped. Get a sense of the real literature of the Quran. Get a sense of the real literature of the Bible.
Yeah.
Now, in the last 30 years, the literature of Kemet has been brought forward. The language and the literature, the Odus of the Yoruba tradition of expressing African sacred science have been brought forward. Thanks to Nana Peri Deni Zulu,
yes,
and the Akanadi Shrine,
yes,
Akan tradition have been brought forward.
Yes.
Let's study these traditions that we came out of. We have the voodoo of Haiti, you know, that came out of Benin, Old Dahomey, and Togo. The word voodoo itself in the language of the Ewe people of Togo means the essence of God in a thing. So if I want to say the essence of God in man, I say voodoo Godzi. If I want to say the essence of God in nature, this is using the tongue of the Ewe people of Ghana and Togo. The essence of God in nature, I says voodoo daha. Voodoo means the essence of God in the thing. And no thing in Africa, in every language, when you deal with person, people, place, or thing, I think that's the way that it goes. Always either the prefix or the prefix to those words is the word for the divine. Which means God is in everything according to our ancestors, and they build it into the language system. So you don't have to have a church. Matter of fact, when I first went to Togo in '82, and I was with a Monsignor, and we were going to tour this Catholic church. And I was kind of like chastising my brother, but, you know, why are you pushing the Catholic Church? He says, and it was a Wednesday. And he said, well, watch that pickup truck. And this pickup truck with about 20 or 30 men was backing into the courtyard of the church. Well, on the pickup truck, they had the voodoo shrine. This really woke me up, right? The Catholics had their church on Sunday. Right. But the Christian European have always been smart to build on other people's hallowed grounds, wherever they conquer a people. So they build their church on the voodoo shrine. But because the voodoo community of Togo was so strong, they built their shrine every Wednesday, and that church courtyard became the voodoo cathedral. Our cathedral is not a building. Our cathedral is the canopy of the universe itself. Canopy. And then he told me a story. He says, Pop Small, he says, you know, when the white man came to our land, he started chopping down the trees and he wanted to build the churches, but no black man would help him. And the black man would just sit and laugh at them. And the white man would say, oh, look at those dumb black people. They have no respect for God. They have no regard for building a house of God. And the brothers would say, no, look at those stupid white men. Think they have the capacity to build a house big enough to hold God. Anyway, you're right. I got it. Okay. Our cathedral is the universe itself. It's the totality. This thing of having this building dedicated to something where you become a prisoner in is not our culture.
Mm-hmm.
You have buildings where we do have it in our ancient tradition is dedicated to specific energy and principles. Now, you know, like when you a priest, you do take oaths in case people don't know it. And there's a limit to what we can teach without you making a commitment to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so, but I usually cross the boundaries a little bit, and my elders kind of give me some space to do that. But you know, when you build a shrine, it's not just the objects that's there. It's like the bebe we see, you know, the ideograms, the bebes we see in Haiti.
Yes.
Well, those bebes were designed based on our ancestral Hogon and Mambo's understanding of certain cosmic energy formulation and manifestations.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yes,
we are energy, and all of us know it. You see a beautiful woman or you see a handsome man, and if you want their attention, all you have to do is let your mind say that. You look at them. The energy from you will go contact the energy in them. Now, sometimes we don't have the smarts to discriminate against the energy we should be getting familiar with and the energy we should be running away from.
Mm-hmm.
But when we see something that attracts us,
right,
and attraction itself is an energy.
Yes, sir.
Even though we can't see it physically, it's an energy. We know that we can exert an energy in ourselves that will allow us to have contact with that person. And it isn't just visual, because everybody in the place is visual. But why you and that one person? Because the energy in you picked up a spark on something, on the energy in them.
Mm-hmm.
And you send your energy out to retrieve that energy. And of course, with the energy comes the package, the matter package, the person.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we just start thinking of little things, the art of attraction,
yes, sir.
the energy of just focusing on somebody, you can look at somebody long enough and they'll look at you because they felt you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've done it.
They felt the energy from you. And so we use energy every day in our daily life, but we have none of it under our control. What the tradition is about is to learn to discipline and control that you are. The temple of God on earth. The body is the temple in which God dwells. You're the essence of God that's doing the dwelling. And in being the essence, you're also a replica or a duplicate. What we've ran into on earth, we've allowed holograms of God
Mm-hmm.
to control our lives. The Europeans are holograms.
Mm.
They have no spirit.
Mm.
Let me say that again. Europeans are holograms.
Yes, sir.
They do not have a spirit energy that is developed. So they've got to make you move from your high place to their low place in order for them to control you.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And they got to control the education system that allows you to develop the ethical, moral principles, constructs that will formulate you in a relationship to the universe that he can't have, that he can only pretend. The telephone is an extension of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Most of the tools we're using are extensions of the African mind. We had the capacity to cover distances without leaving one place, going to the others with our mind. We still do it.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't harness it, except for the few who have been taught and trained. We can't harness it. Somebody wake up in the morning and says, I just had a dream about grandma, da 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 da. And then somebody calls on the telephone and say, you know, grandma is sick, or grandma did this, or grandma. Because grandma reached out to you over 1,000 miles or 500 miles or 200 miles, but you haven't been taught to recognize grandma reaching out to you,
Right.
even though they come to you in your dreams.
Yes, they do. That's right.
You know, because you're still enough then. They will come to you in your awake time too, if you could be calm enough, organized enough, ordered enough, principled enough for them to reach you.
Yes, sir.
But in your sleep, you close down all of those other things, and there's an opportunity for that energy to have a communication with you, because you're not fighting it off with all of the other things you've developed in these alien cultures built by the holograms of you. You have a hologram of you guiding you. That means you can grow no bigger, no more significant than the hologram.
Right.
Which is not real. It's an illusion. You know, that's why theater is so important in their culture, because teaching the illusion,
right, and moving,
you know, has been a part of the way of life that they call civilization, and there's nothing civil about this way of life. We're going through something right now. When we find out what's behind it, we won't believe it. But we will say, we won't believe a human could do this. Maybe it ain't a human you're dealing with. Maybe it's just a hologram of a human being. Remember, the body is where you live. It is the you that live in the body that is making decisions. All right?
Yes, sir.
The body of information that form the concept thoughts that instruct the matter along certain kinds of paradigm and function.
Right.
And so the thoughts that come to the mind is determined by the body of information that inform the mind. So if your body of information is coming from your enemy, whether it's about love or peace or whatever, that's what's informing your mind.
Right, right.
And if that body of information does not have the capacity to override his intellectual boundaries, then you're just as low as he is.
Yes, yes. Baba, before I want, you know, there was a statement somebody said on YouTube, not YouTube, on Facebook recently, about last week, a comedian from out of New York. He said, we need women to rule the society again. So I put on there, I said to him, I said, well, if the woman is still remotely controlled by the European, it's just going to be the same thing.
One of the things that European culture has done is made the woman aspire to be the European male.
There it is.
Where the European male is aspiring to be the Black woman. Listen to me well now.
Wow. Please explain.
The European male aspires to be the Black woman.
Explain, please.
The Black woman, like I said in the beginning,
yes,
when you read the pyramid text, our ancestors said the first manifestation of the cosmology and ecology into a human being, when it expressed itself as this thing we are calling the human being, it had to have been a Black woman. And they write, even in their first holy book, the pyramid text, God itself, Amun-Ra, said, I came from the womb of Nun, which is called sometimes the primordial water, but it is a feminine issue. And we are talking about liquid matter before matter solidified as a baton, become a mountain or rock or solid matter. It was the womb of the feminine energy in the universe that gave birth to the masculine energy in the universe and then mated with it. That's where they get the myth about Osiris marrying his sister. Set is not his sister, because Osiris never existed and the Set never existed. It's the concept, ideas, and principle of the masculine and the feminine coming together to produce the hero and the savior of the world, which is the reproduction of themselves into their next experience. You know, so the white man understand that the power that gave generation to humanity was the Black woman. and I don't want that to get caught up where Black women could sometimes go off on another kind of journey.
Right.
The energy that we call the Black woman is the feminine energy of the universe itself.
Mm-hmm.
And only we can sow the seeds for recreation.
Yes.
But only she can create and bring forth. Once that seed amalgamate with that egg, that 9 months, it ain't none of our business.
We ain't doing nothing.
we ain't doing nothing.
We just helping.
As a matter of fact, in African culture, most of the cultures I've studied, the husband can't even be at the house where the wife is giving birth.
Mm.
He got to come when somebody sends for him a couple of days later.
Wow.
Because that's not his process.
So what is this that we're in the birthing room now? And what is that not part of African culture where we can be in the birthing room while helping her to bring forth life?
That's the culture of necessity. And one thing about African culture is Professor Akin Jobin, who's now an ancestor, wrote a beautiful book on the history and the culture of the Yoruba. He said culture is not static. Some things are no longer useful and you have to throw them out and replace them with the thing that is most useful. Given the experience that we've had in the West, I think it's wholly appropriate that we should be with our woman when we can, when she's going through that difficult process. Mm-hmm. Because our condition put us there. Mm. You know, I remember helping to deliver my last child, Akhenaten. Mm-hmm. Carol didn't wait for me to get back. I'm running down the hall when she was giving birth to the twins. So I missed them. You know, then they blocked me and wouldn't let me go in the room. But the last one, I was able to be there with her through the whole process and help to hold him, put him in her arms while we were washing him off. I went through all of that. And sometimes I said, this boy is such a burden on me. But I keep forgetting I helped her bring that boy here that day, you know. So culture speaks to change as a constant. Right. But the change can't just be made because you borrowed something from somebody else. The change must be made out of necessity for the circumstances you find yourself. Right. And if something in the culture is no longer useful to the growth and the development of the person or the peoples, then that thing should be discarded. Maybe another generation will recoup it. Because your generation may not have a use for it. And so you have to find something new to take its place that is more useful to you. And so we live here in North America. We came here, some of us was here when the slave ships came. Most of those who was here have amalgamated with us. There's no separate groups anymore. I hear people talking this thing, oh, we were the Aborigine everywhere in the world because we were the first manifestation of humans, God as a human. Mm-hmm. So there's no place we weren't. But the occasion of the transatlantic slave trade, when we came here to the United States from multiple cultures in Africa, we met some of our people here and we amalgamated with those people. Mm-hmm. And one of the first brother I heard write about this was LaRon Bennett in his book, The Shaping of Black America, in a chapter called The Black and the Red. And there's another brother, David Imhotep, who has a book, The First Americans for Africa. Yes. And David have a bibliography that is a book unto itself, which will give you other sources and resources. But that's nothing new. We were in New Guinea, we were in Australia, we were in India, we were in England, we were in France. We were the first everywhere. So there's nothing unique about the fact that we were here in the United States when the slave ship came. Because there were other Africans who came over long before the slave ships, from Mali and from Kemet. And we built civilizations for tens of thousands of years before the Asiatics came and declared war on us. Mm-hmm. Before we get so buddy-buddy with our Indian friends, we went a 10,000-year war with them before the white man came. That's a lot of people don't talk about that, Baba. I mean, know. That's a whole nother. I can talk about them because I carried their genes. You know, the last 3 family reunion back, we did it on the reservation up in the mountains of North Carolina. And half of the light-skinned ones didn't want to come, didn't want to accept that they had this black blood. But all of those native Asiatics didn't fight against us. Many fought with us and amalgamated with us. One group would be the Tuscaroras. Another would be the Chicora Nation, all in South Carolina. The other would be the Red Tail Creek, who amalgamated with us to create the Seminole. The Seminole was not a Native American thing. Seminole came from the Spanish word cimarron, that means to run away, to escape. The cracker, just like he messed up the word negrito into the word that we despise, he messed up the word cimarron into Seminole. But that's cool. Study history. History will erase the mystery. No one can say they're going on a spiritual journey if you don't know the history of your family tree, your most immediate family tree. That should be a must. You should know the history of your mother and father. I don't care whether they were saints or sinners. That's the tree. Learn about your grandparents. What part of the Caribbean and United States of Africa they came from. What were the social and political and economic and historical things that was impacting them that caused them to move to the city in which you were born? Learn that history. Then study the greater history of the African American peoples, which is an amalgamation of every African nation on that continent. Then study the history of our mother, that great continent out of which the first manifestation of a human being by God. When God became human, he became a black woman. And I want y'all to understand that, because a black man ain't gonna give birth and his rectum won't handle it and he don't have a womb. So in order for life to proceed, you have to give birth to yourself, and you gave birth to yourself as a son. So study history well and study the stories of Haru and study the stories of Asar. Try to get the oldest documents you can get. Look at Theophilo Benga's writing on it. Look at Shekanta Diop's writing, Dr. Ben's writing, and you will get a different perspective. There's some whites who have done it fairly well. Swella Deluvic and his niece have written some good pieces on Kemetic spiritual concepts. And study even the ones that may not have been as good. There's the History of Mathematics by Kajari, History of Mathematics. And in his first chapter, he gives it up. He says Plato, in his book, and then we're going to come back more. I wanted to get away from the spirituality because I think people need to breathe for a minute.
I mean, look,
Plato, yes, his book, Phaedrus, in college, we all went to college, who went to college. They gave us The Republic by Aristotle about Plato. And that was the limits of what we learned about Plato. And the reason they did that, because Plato did spend most of his life living in Kemet. Before he came back to Greece as an old man. And he wrote a document called the Phaedrus. That's his primary, P-H-E-D-R-U-S, Phaedrus, or Phaedra. And in that document, he said the Ethiopian, because that was the Greek word for black people. Egypt was an operative word then, and they didn't know Kemet. And so they called us Ethiopian, the burnt-faced one, the black-faced ones, right? And he said that we gave to the world, this is Plato, this is their main boy. Plato, this is their man. This show you how much liars we're dealing with. He said the Ethiopians have given the world all of its sciences. And then he begins to name them. The first one he names is medicine, arithmetic, geometry, music, astronomy, and one called Drus. I don't know what that is. I think that's the game we call chess. Because there's a whole science with that game that we don't even get into, because you shouldn't use a clock to play chess. That chess move may take you a week. Contemplation, right? Contemplation, not this thing of, that's the white boy thing when he wanted to create contests to make money.
And that's why a lot of people, you watch certain old chess games, they'll leave the chess after they made the move, and they'll come back like 2 days later.
Yes,
to make the next
move. Because it's about contemplation and anticipation.
Right.
But anyway,
wow.
Kadari in his first chapter, first paragraph, drops the science by using their main man, Plato, attributing all of this to Africa. But then what he says in his concluding line is Plato says the greatest science of all that the Ethiopian has given to the world is the science of writing itself. So why do they hide that book? Why don't we get that book in the university? Not even the Black university would use it. So back to spirituality. Spirituality is your being in control of, being conscious of, and being a fully participant in your daily, minute by hour, minute by minute, second by second reality.
Wow. Yeah. Those hold on one second, Baba. Those that are just tuning in, with 203 people watching, only 174 likes. We need to up them likes. We want to match 203 to 203 and go past it. And please share the video. The information that Baba James Smalls is so imperative, so important. African spirituality and how to apply it. But like he said, history removes the mystery. And if you want to show that love, please show the love. When I put his Cash App and everything online, you please show him that love. His PayPal and his Cash App is online right now, putting it up right now. Please show that love. You could PayPal him with C Smalls 1926. That's C Smalls 1926 at AOL.com for the PayPal, and for the Cash App, if that's what you got, that's $ Dr. James Smalls. That's $ Dr. James Smalls. Show him love. Like I said, he got a big machine from here to Africa helping, and we got to keep these elders going and keep these elders doing what they got to do, and then pass it on. We're going to keep on passing it on. Go ahead, Baba. I'm sorry.
So let me come back now. In our communities,
yes, sir.
We have many institutions now of Santeria.
Right.
That's coming out of Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, of Candomblé, coming out of Brazil. These are the different names used for the school of thought and teaching indigenous African spiritual systems. In Cuba, we have Lucome. In America, we call it, in the United States of America, we call it hoodoo or root. In Haiti, we call it voodoo or voodoo. All of these systems have institutions and teachers. And I'm not speaking against them, except if they're not listening to the wisdom of the ancestors. And all of them know me, because I've been in this thing for nearly 50 years.
Yes.
And I've fought many of them. And I've made friends and brothers and sisters and comrades with many of them who know that we have to fight to bring back the integrity to the teaching. Yes. So if you're in the voodoo community and you find an institution, and I know in Brooklyn there's a number of beautiful shrines. Yes. And I'm not going to call one over the other, because I do belong to one in Brooklyn, so I can't favor mine, because that would be fair, you know. But there are many voodoo shrines in Brooklyn, but don't go there with blinders on. Don't go there wanting to be a slave. Go there wanting to be free from slavery, and ask questions. And if you meet people who are not willing to answer your questions, leave. Teach. That's right. Go someplace else. That's right. That's right. Sisters, if you walk into these shrine communities, and I'm raising it this way because it happens, and your Baba is paying more attention to your beautiful mountain of gold, the mammary gland that feeds the baby and gives that baby all of the antibodies they need to meet the world. If he's paying more attention and telling you about he needs another wife and he wants, leave. You already dealt with the pimp in the street from the Christian perspective. You're going to meet pimp from our perspective too. But you're going to meet the good Babala, and you're going to meet the good Hogan, and you're going to meet the good Mambo, and you're going to meet the good Iyanifas. But you must be willing to demand from your teacher an opportunity to question what you don't know. That is your right as a human being. And they should be patient with your inquiry. Because our job is not to chastise you for not knowing. Our job is to help you to learn how to know.
Yes.
But you have to play a strong role in this yourself in terms of how you begin to investigate and study the people you want to study with, and you want to put your mind in their hands. So before you put your mind in somebody's hands, don't do it just because they got on a nice African booba or because they're handsome or sexually beautiful. Don't put your mind there. Because I can take you to Paris Blue and 7th Avenue and find some sisters more beautiful than that and some brothers more handsome than that. Can dance better than them and got a line that'll sweep you off your feet walking in the door. Paris Blue. And we just lost the brother, the owner of Paris Blue. I think that was the last, one of the last African bars in Harlem. We lost him last week.
Wow. You know, Baba, you're saying all of this because right now they got a television show on BET called Ruthless, dealing with leaders of cults and sects that are doing kidnapping children, dealing with women and all that. So they're trying to mold another culture here through television.
Well, yeah, they're fighting against the rise in African spirituality by any means necessary. Yeah. They're the real witchcraft. Yes. We don't practice witchcraft. People say, oh, they call it witch. Those of us in Africa who calls it witchcraft are those of us who have been brainwashed by the Christian missionaries. There's nothing in our language that deals with witchcraft.
Right.
Okay? Because if we could do that harm to people, wouldn't we have done it to the enslaver? Wouldn't we have done it to the colonizer? So let's stop being foolish. How we'd have all this power to voodoo you, and we decide, oh, being slaves is the best thing for right now. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So let's use our common sense. And the reason it's called common, I mean the sense that is the same among us. Let's use that sense. And let's try to learn how to reconstruct the essence of God in ourselves as it was done by our ancestors, so that we can develop the wherewithal to defeat our enemy, because we're not going to defeat him praying. We've been praying for friggin' centuries in all kinds of languages, and that sucker's still kicking our behinds. So that shit don't work. We've been pouring libations, and he still kicked our behinds all over Africa. So let's stop playing. Spirituality is you being in control of your fundamental reality. And if you separate your culture and your spirituality from your economics and your politics, you will always be a slave. Politics and economics is as much a part of spirituality as is God and angels and scriptures. White man understands that. That's why he's kicking our butts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said, oh, I'll just leave it to the Lord. Now we done got stupid. Oh, I'll leave it to the Orishas. Oh, I'll leave it to the Obossum. The damn Obossum and Orishas didn't stop them from taking off the shores of Africa.
That's right.
Because we approached it wrong once we got fear in our system. Once he made us afraid of death, and after one generation of barring us from the knowledge of our ancestors, the knowledge was not available to guide our development. Why would you fear death when that's something everybody's got to do and nobody knows when they're going to have to do it? And our ancestors had taught us. The Yoruba have a concept called aloha. We go and we come. And it says we got, I think it's 8 times to come and go, and 12 steps we must master on each of the 8 comings and going. And because our system, all African systems believe in reincarnation. But the African system, unlike the Indian system, we reincarnate only as a human and only in the family that we originally were born into. And let me show you how that works, because it's so simple. It's beautifully simple, and it's beautifully. When my mama gave birth to me, she gave birth to me, to herself and my daddy. They gave birth to themselves. I am they.
Yes, sir.
Somebody said, well, what about your brothers and sisters? We're all aspects of them 2 people. And they were the aspects of the 4, our grandparents. And they were the aspects of the 8, our great parents. And they were the aspects of the 16, our great grandparents. And it goes back to infinity. And guess where you end up? You end up with God being your primary ancestor. Y'all can see how simple that shit is. People try to bamboozle you and make shit complicated. Then they got you paying money through the nose. Everybody giving you a reading, and the reading says you need to become a babalawo or a chief. That ain't true. Stop it. Everybody's reading can't say the same damn thing.
That's true.
Yes, there's some who have been called to this profession. I didn't even want to be in it, all right? I kick it, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to hang out at the clubs and
me too.
But I used to love to dance before my knees went bad, and I was kind of handsome as a young man, tall, lean, playing football, you know.
Yes, sir.
Something had been on me since my teens, and no matter where I turn, I'm a priest or a preacher or an imam. So I said, okay, I got you.
Baba, I remember when I first seen you at the Slave Theater, Baba. I was like, this guy was something else. I could tell you how you had your strut and how you walked in. I was like, cool. You had locks.
I got a cane now.
Your locks were down here.
Same way, you know. But I'm talking the way I'm talking because I want to be direct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got some beautiful Santeria houses in New York, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Manhattan. We had some beautiful voodoo houses. We had some strong Candomblé houses and Lucumé houses. But you must go in determined to come out of the slavery of Christianity and Islam and Judaism and tell the God in you, I will never be enslaved again, and I will not participate in my own enslavement. And be real about it. As your mother and father gave birth to themselves, as you, listen to the wording now, mommy and daddy had sex. Yes, that's what they did. They had sex.
That's right.
All right. And they gave birth to themselves. As you. Your job is to go on and do the same. And in each going on, you're expanding the spiritual consciousness of the next generation by being able to retain and do intergenerational transmission of the wisdom of your ancestors. That's what he cut us off from. Let's take the language away from them. See, because in the language is the university. Oh yeah, we didn't need no building. The university is in the language. Now we took English and we worked magic with it and made it do things it wasn't designed to do, but we still lost so much that was encoded in the language of the ancestors.
Right.
I'm still struggling to learn some tree, but I'm struggling. I got my tree tape in the car, and I'm riding, I'm trying to get it. And sometimes I'm a little shy about trying to say the words, but when I'm on the phone, you know, I can say different words. When I'm there in the culture, I can hear it clearly because I've been there so long. So now I'm trying to learn to articulate with my tongue the language of the ancestors of Ghana.
But now, Baba, before you say, somebody said Africans are Africans different than so-called African Americans here? Like that.
is nothing but a place. It's the same race. They're just in different places.
Okay.
And even I did a speech 6 years ago when the brother was killed out in Ferguson, and there was an argument on 125th Street. And Jack and Sonetta made it look like I was coming to speaking to them, but I was hobbling from the knee doctor to the bus stop. And they just happened to be there. And it was a kind of an incident, but they were trying to have this Tuesday economic meeting, but a lot of the brothers from the continent didn't want to identify with it. And there was another incident earlier where some of the brothers, the African-American youth, the cops had taken their stuff because they didn't have licenses and stuff, throw it in a plastic bag, throw it in the trunk, and nobody stood up for them. And so I went off. Sonetta asked the question, what about the Africans? Well, I should have corrected that language, but I allowed anger to overtake me, and I went off.
Yes, sir.
Then I realized I was going off on my damn self. I was going off on me. I went off saying that, you know, when you side with these other immigrant groups who are not African, and you don't come and bond with me, the African, then you become my enemy, not my brother. And I was very clear on that. I still am very clear on that. I've always been clear on that. But I can't condemn my brother for being deaf, blind, and dumb, because we're deaf, blind, and dumb. So those who've got the wisdom, we got one job: to give sight to the blind, to give voice to the dumb, and to give hearing to the deaf. And if we think we got wisdom to gloat and be ego tripping with, then you're in violation of every tenet of the African sacred science. We come back again talking about the many houses that we can go to, and a place where you can find out where a lot of these places at is the Caribbean Cultural Center on 125th Street in Fifth Avenue and Lexington, where you can get the what do you call it, like a catalog.
Yes, a catalog.
Different houses are in the city. But before you join anything, read up on it. Do some research. There's enough literature out here. Study it.
Yes.
With the computer, you can even study the person and learn a certain amount of information about the person. And then when you go there, don't go to join. Go to be informed. Of course, there's a beautiful book, The Island of Meme by Dr. Wade Nobles. You don't have a library if you don't have that book in it.
That's right. That's right.
Island of Meme by Dr. Wade Nobles.
That's right.
And the other book the brother was holding up is a book which is Check on the Div, Civilization or Barbarism.
Yes, sir.
You must own those two books.
Yes.
If you're an African American, meaning that your family tree is here for the last few hundred years, then you need to read Before the Mayflower by LaRon Bennett.
Yes.
Shaping of Black America by LaRon Bennett. From the Caribbean, any parts of the Caribbean, you need to read Dr. Tony Martin's book.
Yes.
Called The History of the Caribbean. It's the last piece Tony did before he went to the ancestors. It is a masterpiece of Caribbean history. No one has touched this. A History of the Caribbean by Dr. Tony Martin. From the UK, you want to read When We Rule. When We Rule by Baba Robin Walker. Brilliant teacher and scientist.
There it is. There it is.
Those documents you need to have, because history will erase the mystery. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are nothing more than fragments from the periphery of voodoo, or periphery of the African indigenous system, cased in the culture of the Europeans. That last part is important now. People say, well, we came from Africa. No, they took fragments of your system and cased it in a culture rooted in domination, destruction, and death, and gave it back to you to ask you to forgive them for the domination, destruction, and death they brought upon you. But let's come back to the question of the sister. Is there a difference between an African in the continent and an African who live in African America?
Right.
Well, I've had the great honor to have been in love with a beautiful woman from the continent. My first child whose mother's an ancestor now, so I'm a beautiful woman who was an African American. And my wife of 49 years is a queen from the Caribbean. I hadn't found the difference yet. I've been looking. All I found was beautiful Black women. The only difference is the degree of cultural retention that one may have and the other may not have. Mm-hmm. And that's going both ways, because you have many people from the Caribbean and Cuba and Latin America who may have more cultural retention than some brothers and sisters from the continent. Mm-hmm. Yet you got more brothers and sisters from the continent who have more cultural retention than we have, meaning the indigenous ancient culture of our people, because they're in the language system, and they're in the family constructs. And we've been forced to reconstruct families, but we didn't lose everything. In our reconstruction, we reconfigured how we use the wisdom. That's why we survived.
That's right. That's right.
Malcolm made it plain. A cat having kittens in an oven don't make the kittens biscuits.
That's right. That's right.
So an African having babies in North America or in the Caribbean or in Latin America or on the continent of Africa is still an African baby. Mm-hmm. And then some say, well, you know, we got the white man blood. That's not as true as you think. Some of us, because we have lighter skin, wish it was the white man blood, because we want to psychologically identify with the thing that is in charge of everything. And you go back to ancient Kemet, and you see every shade of blackness on the walls of those tombs.
Yes, sir.
20,000 years ago. See, brown ain't nothing but a shade of black. Mm. And most Africans are not black, even though we have the jet black, super black. They're the minority. They gave birth to every shade of brown, and every shade of brown is nothing but a shade of black. Because being an African has little or nothing to do with the color of your skin. It is the context of your mind. And one of the best books to explain that, break it down, and put it back together for you is The Island of Meme by Dr. Wade Noble.
Right, I just put that one up. I just showed that.
An extraordinary document. It's called The Island of Meme, The Unfinished Haitian Revolution. Mm-hmm. But it's not about the Haitian Revolution as a military conflict. It is about the mind of the Haitians who led the revolution and the transformation from European Christians they had to go through to become the African dynamite they become to defeat the French, the British, and the Spanish. Mm. Nobody in history has ever done that. Mm-hmm. They talk about Napoleon Bonaparte. Did anybody tell you that the Haitians, what they did was kick Napoleon Bonaparte in his behind and tell Waterloo when they got beat in Russia, the only power on earth that had defeated Napoleon's best army was the army of Toussaint and Dessalines. Mm. Mm. And Défilé. Wow. And all of the great queens that helped to lead that revolution. You know, Cecile Fatima.
Yes. And you was in, matter of fact, you were in the documentary 1802, right?
1804.
1804. 1804. Yeah, 1804 with Tariq Nasheed, right? Tariq Nasheed.
The point I'm making, there is no difference between an African and an African. There's a beautiful young sister who saw one of my tape, and she contacted me last year. Mm-hmm. And she's from the Mauritius Island. Mm-hmm. It is an island in the middle of the damn Atlantic Indian Ocean on the other side of Madagascar. Had never seen the continent of Africa until this year. Mm-hmm. She was able, thanks to YouTube, to start bringing some of us up. Right now, I got a message from her today. They're on a hunger strike in the Mauritius to try to force the government to honor the Constitution as it affects Black people. Mm-hmm. And because the government is dominated by Asian merchants who was put in place by the British and French colonialists who had conquered them and enslaved them in earlier days. Mm-hmm. And I said that that the people of Mauritius, some of whose generation haven't seen Africa in 1,000 years, still know they're Africans. They were taken to the island by the Arab slave traders.
Yes, sir.
And that trade went on 1,500 years before the transatlantic slave trade, which was 500 years, which means some of them have been away from home over 2,000 years. But they still know that that spirit in them is the spirit of the womb of Africa.
Yes, sir.
That will never change because we own the earth. Our genesis is Africa, but we populated the entire earth before we mutated into any of these other Eurasian creatures we are now confronted with. But we're not going to have a discussion about that piece because people are like that. Well, did we really come from them or didn't? We are the only human on earth. Everything else is a mutation thereof. And I'll leave it at that for your research. But back to the spirituality. To be really, truly involved in your spirituality is to be truly involved in knowing thyself. Self-knowledge. I don't mean just the kind of dress you like, the kind of clothes you like, the kind of books you like. No. Do an analysis of your personal history from as early as you can remember yourself. Go back and reconstruct the first lies you can remember. Go back and reconstruct the first joys you can remember. Go back and reconstruct the relationship with the person who gave you the greatest love you knew as a child and as you grew forward. Look at those who abused you, why they did it, and the circumstances under which they did it, your response and their response. Because this evil culture have given us the wrong response.
Right.
Give them, Lord, for they know what they do. They know damn well what they do, even when it's the white man in blackface. And to be an uncle or mama's boyfriend or some brother you went to school with who you thought cared about you. And the same thing for brothers, because sometimes we think only if sisters is being molested. You will be surprised, the young men that get molested.
Yes, sir.
And the damage that do to the psycho-spiritual growth of that person into the rest of their lives.
That's right.
So know thyself and then learn to forgive yourself. You should be the only person you ever forgive for any crime against yourself. Because most of the crimes we commit against ourselves was out of ignorance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of who our true self is. If we get to truly know ourselves, accept the truth about ourselves, only then can we know what to change about ourselves. We're getting good at changing our diet, which is a very spiritual process.
Yes, sir.
And changing of the diet and making the temple that the spirit lives in healthy is a highly spiritual act. But we can't stop there. We can't just say I'm vegan, I'm a vegetarian, or I eat according to this one, according to this one. No, that's making the house healthy. But the very construction of the thoughts that inform the mind that develop the paradigms that you live by needs to be changed.
Yes, sir.
That's why Dr. Wade Noble, he addresses this.
Yeah.
He said the European meme, which we get via his religion, he calls it European mimetic infection of the African spiritual sense. And that even when we do what we're doing tonight, trying to find a way back home,
yes, sir,
the white man thought construction has created black man in us who will attack the African that's trying to come in the door of our minds.
That's right. That's
Y'all
right.
get that? That within your own mind,
remote,
the white man's system have created a black man who pretends he's the African man, and he's the first to attack the real African spirit that you're trying to develop and bring back in to reconstruct yourself.
Right. In other words, they're called trolls.
Very good word to describe them.
This new word, trolls.
Yeah.
for now.
But when you study history, it'll give you a foundation, because this thing gets deep.
Yes, it does.
Right now, some people say, "Oh, Brother Small is a good teacher. I'm halfway decent, but I know I don't know nothing. I've been struggling to learn all my life, but the little bit I know, I've never been afraid to give it."
That's right.
And what you got to understand, the greatest teacher you will ever meet is the one that lives in you. If you don't wake that teacher up, the knowledge I'm giving you is to help you wake up the teacher that is the divine that is you, that is in you. Let me say that again. You want to wake up the teacher that is the divine that is you, that is in you. And in the Western system, no, in Islam, they says Allah is as close to you as your jugular vein. What is he saying? That the Allah is in you. And you go further, the Allah is you. But then they teach you, no, the Allah is out there and you down here, and you got to get and bump your head up against the damn floor 5 times a day. And for the Allah have any reference. And then you read the same book that tells you to take yourself as a slave to someone who ain't even bumping his head 5 times a day. Stop.
Baba, I know I don't want to keep you all night. I know you can go on like Professor Jeffrey.
I'm moving the time. But there's a couple of key things I just wanted to make sure I gave you.
Let's do it.
That teacher you're looking for is inside of you. People like me and the Babalawo and the Nifa and the Hogan and the Mambo, don't let none of them make you their slave. Be their student. And when they stop perceiving you as a student and want to reduce you to a servant, leave. Okay? Their job should be what someone is putting right there. Wake up the teacher that is the divine that is in you. That's what the job of the Mambo, the Hogan, the Babalao, the Babalarisha. Our job is to help you wake up the teacher in you so you no longer need us. And then you become a teacher to teach others so they no longer need you.
Exactly.
That's what this should be about. I ain't trying to build no congregation or no house. Because why do you've been in this thing on 50-some years and you don't have a house? No, the whole African world is my house. The whole African world is my house.
Whole universe.
We have to come back to being again the universe itself.
Yes.
Your grandmother gave birth to your mother and your father. So everything that was your grandmother, her memory, her hurts, and her pains was put in the DNA of your mom and your dad. And everything that was your mom and dad DNA and their pain was put into you.
Yes.
Along with everything of your grandparents. You got this whole massive library to pull from.
Right. That's right.
But you have to learn to respect ancestors. And so I encourage everybody to set up an ancestral shrine in their house. Not shrine, but an ancestral, what's the word? Brainstorm. It's getting old. Shrine is where you want to worship the powers of the deities.
Altars, right.
An ancestral altar.
Right.
And you put the pictures there. You put a nice clean white cloth so you can know when to keep it clean. You put a candle there, a white candle. You put a glass of water every morning. And if you have special occasions in the house, you take a little sauce and give them a tiny bit of little food that you're eating to show deference and love. Wake up every morning, have some to make some noise and ring the bell to wake them up. Talk to them like you did when they're alive. What you do by using a reflection of the image in the picture that was them, you wake up the essence of them that is alive in you. And grandma may be gone, but she'll try to start teaching you again, just like she was here.
Baba Smalls, Mr. G, who was the cameraman for the late Dr. Sabi, and he's the one of the co-producers of the new documentary on Dr. Sabi. He would like to link with you. He would definitely love to film you and interview you. So
it's up to you. You hook us up.
That's what I just told him. We can make that happen, Mr. G. I told him. So Mr. G, he's a good brother. He's a good brother. So, you know, he was working with Dr. Sabi. He's worked with so many people. Wendy Williams. So, you know, he's a good brother.
But I hope the people understand, one, This is about the ultimate love.
Yes, sir.
You know, but the first ultimate love you must develop is the love for yourself. Because you can't love me if you don't love you.
That's right.
And so all of us are fractured in some way, broken in some way, and struggling to find someone to love us.
That's right.
But the person that must learn to love the you is you. I always tell people, brothers and sisters, get up in the morning, go in front of that mirror in your birthday suit, and if you don't like what you see physically, change it.
Change it. Yes.
That starts with diet.
That's right.
Exercise. Exercise and diet is a much a part of spirituality is chanting, dancing, or drumming. If you don't believe it, go back in as far back into Kemet, into Kush, and you see us playing all the games they stole and called the Olympics. We are wrestling. We are doing martial arts. We are running. We're doing all of these things to stay healthy. Okay?
Right.
We're eating appropriately. We're learning when to eat. Certain foods you should eat in this season and certain in that season. So we need to learn to take care of our bodies, take care of the temple. That's step one. We need to study history to inform and instruct our minds of what our foundation is. So we can begin to learn the culture that that foundation created again, so that we can learn to withdraw or extract the wisdom of our ancestors that's embedded in the very cells of our own very own bodies. Love, you can't love what you don't know. Know thyself is what they left on the temples in Kemet and in other places for us. If you know yourself, you can love yourself. And the same thing with the mates you're looking for. Many of the pains and the hurts and the mistakes we've made because we amalgamated with people we didn't even know. We were just attracted to, because this culture said attraction is enough. But no, attraction simply introduces you to the possibility of knowing one another. So you can make a decision whether that is worthy of amalgamation. So the simple way to put it, spirituality is your reality. You must know yourself. You must know your history. You must know your family tree. You must pick an aspect of African culture. There's so many cultural paths that you learn from. And you must find good teachers, but don't go to them as a slave or a servant, as we've been taught in this culture, to enslave ourselves to anybody that know more than we do. Go as a seeker of truth, who want to be a student, but who want to be a student of someone who's a teacher. A teacher is the servant of the student. So I think that makes it simple enough.
Yes. Yes, Baba. You know, somebody said, how would you care for the elders at this time? How should somebody care for the elders at this time? You know,
with total devotion. Total devotion.
Wow.
You know, I cared for Malcolm X's sister. I was a bodyguard, yes, for many years, but I was also her caregiver. When she got diabetes, when she lost her foot, before she lost foot, I cut off her 4 toes and wrapped them and put them in the freezer. I healed her foot from gangrene.
Wow.
I carried in my arms from bed to wheelchair to car to doctors to whatever. Not making any penny, but the divine always provided. My grandma, who was blind,
yes, sir.
I have one sister who we asked, would you stay? Because she was still in the South. And she stayed with her until she walked her to that cemetery, and we walked her together. Our duty to the ancestors is and to the elderly is unlimited. Even if they were not the most appropriate person in our lives, meaning some may have been an alcoholic, some may have been on drugs, some may have been mean-spirited, because we don't know what happened to them.
That's what I said.
This culture of terrorism that has injured and deformed and fractured so many of us. Honor thy mother and thy father, that the days may be long upon this earth, is something you think come out of the Torah, but you find it in the teachings of ancient Kemet, where the Torah copied it from. know thyself is over every temple.
Yes, sir.
Because it wasn't a temple, it was a university. And we could call a university a temple, but your body is the temple in which God lives. And I know you may be a little bit afraid of that, but God lives in this body. So however you treat this body, that's how you're treating God.
That's right.
You give God a good temple, God will do some fantastic things for you.
That's right.
You give God a non-functional temple, then God can't manifest to do nothing for you. And God don't ask you to forgive no criminals now that have deliberately committed crimes against you. God says you got to punish them so they don't commit crimes against anybody else. Y'all understand that?
Yes. Yes.
Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, but do not do unto them because of what you expect them to do unto you. And be prepared to protect the integrity of the sacred institution that is the house of the divine.
Yes, sir.
By any means necessary.
Any means necessary. Yes,
Absolutely.
Sir. Baba, I want to thank you very much. I mean,
yes, sir.
It's nothing much, I don't even want people to call in and question. I don't need all of that right now. I just want people to watch this over and over and over and get it, because we got 204 people.
Well, I thank each of those persons, and I hope and pray that our ancestors and the divine continue to bless and guide us towards gaining the wisdom, the knowledge, and understanding that will give us our vision back again, give us our hearing back again, giving us our ability to articulate the wisdom of the universe again.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to love yourself, because until you do that, you can't love anybody else.
Yes.
You can't even recognize it if somebody was offering love to you.
Yes.
On the real side. And there isn't an adult in this room that don't know that that's true. Get to know yourself, face the truth about yourself. Don't lie to yourself about yourself. And you're one giant step closer to being the divine energy we talk about.
That's right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Diet, the right herbs, the right kind of healing balms that we need. And we had some of the great scientists. We had Dr. Sabi, we had Dr. Afrika, but we have others.
Queen of Four, we got
Queen of Four, oh my beloved sister. And
Paul,
they're all written literature to give us truth.
Yeah.
We can study the different books by the different Babalawos out of Nigeria. We can look at the Odus. We can study the books by the priest, the Lukome, out of Cuba. And the word Lukome itself means you're mine and I'm yours. You belong to me and I belong to you.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing. So Lukome to everybody.
Lukome. Baba, I want to thank you so much. You and your family, your ancestors, all our ancestors.
They're always with me. They're my buddies. We roll.
Man, this was together. Thank you. I want to thank everybody that came in. I mean, we got 237 likes and 200 people. That's good. That's a good.
Wonderful.
That's a good great.
King Simon is an extraordinary teacher in his own right. He's a very humble brother. He's an extraordinary teacher with an extraordinary experience.
Thank you, brother.
And I'm always at pleasure to do anything he asks me to do, because he's moved with the greatest integrity of all these years that I've known.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. And please, for you do consultation, marriage consultation, you do all of that, right? Still,
people can reach out to me.
I got everything.
You can put up the other email, which is one.
Which one?
The Ampansa.
Okay, I'll put that one up. I'll put that.
People said, well, why does he still have the name small? Well, I'm also known as Nana Kofi Ampansa II of the Ogogo stool.
Okay.
And I'm also known as Neahito Okropong of the Gas stool.
That's why.
Obenjoko Adebayo.
Right.
You know, a Babalarisha of Oya. That's my mother.
Mm.
The mother of my spirit.
Right. So I'm gonna put that email, email, Apanso.
AM PON SA3 at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Hold on.
Yeah. Apansa.
Apansa.
Yeah.
gmail.com. And that's for consultations and to show monetary love. They can, of course, do Cash App, and they could do PayPal too, right? Like I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay. They could do. I got all of that. I'm putting that up right now again, so people can see that right here in the page. Family, believe me, if I think I would have survived my third marriage if I would have came to this man. Because he know my wife, I was dealing with a Muslim wife, and he understood, and he understands Islam from that perspective. And I should have came to him. Instead, we was going to other counselors. But for consultation, marriage consultation, historic consultation, maybe a bibliography you might need of all the books that he has. You might have to put a bibliography together, Baba, and people might want to call email for that.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I have one. I usually try to do that as a designer thing.
Right.
Whatever the person I'm talking to need, then those are the books I recommend to them.
Yes, sir.
But I could put a general one out, but I like to keep it specific.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That person is searching for,
Right. Once again, family, we have our beautiful. He's a doctor now. He's also a doctor now, so don't recognize the title. But Baba Professor James Smalls in the building. Show him monetary love through Cash App, of course. That's $ Dr. James Smalls. Through PayPal, that's C Smalls 1926 at AOL. If you want to sign up for consultation or link with him for consultation, that's AMPONSA3 at gmail.com. And show your love, because we don't have these bubbles around for so long.
And tell the people, enjoy learning about yourself.
Enjoy learning.
And love with yourself again. People say, oh, we romanticize Africa too much. But if you love something, you want to have a romance with that something. So yes. Romanticize. It can't be no worse than all the other stuff we were doing against our mother. Exactly. So let's have a romance with her and enjoy the romance.
Exactly. Well,
have a romance with your new self and enjoy the love for yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Baba, again.
Brother. Peace and blessings to everyone.
Hotep.
And Lukame, you belong to me. I belong to you.
Lukame. Thank you. All right. That was our beautiful Baba, Professor James Smalls. And I started crying because it's real. It's real to me. He touched me. I'm around my ancestral altars of respect, higher and my family altar. So I'm feeling their energy also as Baba Smalls is saying what he's saying. That's why I didn't even really have no questions. I want to thank everybody that showed love. Please show him love. Again, C Smalls 1926 at AOL for PayPal, Cash App, Dr. James Smalls. And if you want to get an interview with him, email him. He'll do an interview on your platform. Natasha, if you want to talk to him, I know Natasha Love got her platform. Mr. G got the platform. Just say you heard him right on King Simon Show and tell him I sent you, man. And email him at the consultation email. That's Ampansa. That's AMPONSA3 at gmail.com. That's AMPONSA at 3 at gmail.com. Believe me, if you're going to get married or you're having relationship issues, I don't care what religion you're part of, do the consultation with Baba James Smalls. He's been married to his wife for 45 years and more. 45 years. Do the consultation with. If you're going to get married, if you're deciding on dealing with somebody, if you need a walid in Islam, walid is a guardian to cover the woman, to make sure she's not marrying no knuckleheads and not marrying no crazy person, that he's really established and well in the build. And sometimes you need that. Women, y'all need to do the courtship. Sometimes that's what you need to do, really. I told certain people at Sacred Women, they need that. I've told people in other organizations, they need that. They need that. They need that. And big up to Transatlantic Production. Oh, man, I didn't know Transatlantic Productions was here. Big up to Clemson Brown. Big up to Clemson Brown and his team, the whole Transatlantic Production family. Make sure you support Transatlantic Production .YouTube. Professor James Smalls has been on Transatlantic Production Youth find the largest collection of our African teachers, our Dr. Benz, our Dr. Clarks, our Barashango, our Dr. Africa, our Francis Cress Wells. And you'll find the largest collection at Transatlantic Productions or Tap Videos right here on YouTube. Make sure he hasn't even put up everything yet. He hasn't even put up everything. You know what I'm saying? Again, he bigged up some great books. This is one of the great books he shouted out by Wayne Nobles. Wayne Nobles, that's The Island of Meme, Haiti's unfinished revolution. Also, he bigged up this book, Civilization or Barbarism, Cheikh Anta Diop. And of course, he bigged up this book by Robin Walker from out of London, England. Big up. I wanted to bring Robert in too. Big up to Robin Walker. When We Rule. This is a thick book. So these are some great books. And email him for a bibliography. Email him for a bibliography so you can get. And don't forget, every time you buy my book, you support Dr. Afrika and his wife. Every time you buy my books, you support Dr. Afrika and his wife. No promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. And numbers are simple. People are complicated. And also numbers are simple. Our children's health is important. When you support my books, you're not only supporting me, you support Dr. Laila Afrika, and you support his wife, and you support that legacy going on. And make sure you go to Dr. Afrika's books website and get his books and his products. Everything still still have the integrity. It's still very strong. Even the classes. Let me tell y'all something. Dr. Afrika filmed all of his classes 3 years prior to his transition. All of his classes. So even the introduction, when you go and get the introduction to his class, is deep. When I say he's deep, it's deep. So you still get a certification after you go through whatever you got to go through. His wife is handling everything. His signature is also on it because she owns the rights to his signature, and she puts her signature. It's like a dojo. It's like a dojo, a martial arts diploma, a martial arts certificate. You got the grandmaster, and then you might have the Shion or the other masters on there. His signature is always because he trusts his wife to teach it as he gave it. And that's how he's going to do it. So make sure you go to www.lailaafrica.com. Dr. Melanie is still teaching. Our products are still, I bought some great products. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a whole YouTube thing on the products that I've been buying, people from Supernova, from Pedal Wise, from Dr. Afrika, from all the rest, Holistic Health, Holistic Heights, big up to Holistic Heights, and now products, all the products that I've been using during this time. Like this has lime juice. This has lime juice. This is water with lime juice and Pedal Wise antiviral mix. Very good. It's been keeping me full of energy and keeping me on point during this whole craziness that's going on. And I get that sun out there. So make sure y'all take time and take care of your health. I work out. If I got to work out in the house, if I don't want to go to the park, I work out in the house in my backyard, and I'm training. I got my Wave Master, so I'm punching it and doing what I got to do. And it is what it is. So family, I love and respect you. Remember, if you do want to do a numerovation session with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. Remember, I don't do readings. I do consultations and advisory sessions to help guide you, to help you to activate your numbers to make you better. I look for the master numbers in you. I look for the potential master numbers in you. I look for the angel numbers that's in your numbers, in your birthday and your name. I look for all those different, whatever pops out of me and my spirit says, read it or break it down or give you some insight on it. That's because there's a lot of you out there that are eagles hanging out with chickens. There's a lot of you out there that are eagles that are hanging out with chickens. And some people are supposed to be chickens. Some people have been hurt. That's why my book is called Numbers Are Simple. People are complicated. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 4 = 6. But if you have somebody born under the 2 or the 4 and one don't want to listen, one is hard-headed or one is too emotional, it ain't going to work. They gotta have balance and love. You gotta understand that. See, I do this for real. I do this for real. So if you want to do a session with me, please text me your full name and date of birth once again to 347-496-1022. You can use Cash App and PayPal. Those are the only systems I use. And it's over the phone, whether it's out of town. If you're out of town, family, if you live outside of the United States, use WhatsApp. WhatsApp is free. Use WhatsApp. And at the same number, 347-496-1022. So I get people from out of Canada. I get people from out of Africa. I get people from out of Singapore. I get people from out of London, England. Big up to the UK crew. I get people from the Caribbeans. And when you do set it up, we can either do it over WhatsApp or we can do it over Zoom. Zoom is free. Once I send you the link, Zoom is absolutely free. So you want to do a numerovation session with me? I'm here to help you, man. I'm here to guide you. I don't even want you to keep on coming back to me. I usually tell people, look, you don't have to keep on doing a reading with me or doing a session with me. The only time after you do a major reading, a major session with me or major consultation with me, all you need to do is probably confirm stuff with me after that. Like when you want to make certain moves, you want to change your business, you want to do certain things. If you're not too sure and you want to, with children or what we call compatibility. If you're doing a compatibility session with me, let me be very clear. Let me take my glasses off. Let me be very clear. If you're doing a compatibility, don't text me your potential boyfriend or somebody you're just looking at or some girlfriend you're looking at me because you want to make a decision between 2, 3, 2, 4, 5 of them. Don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me. Be respectful. If you're serious about one person, and you've been with them for at least 6 months to a year, let's do the compatibility session. But if y'all been together for 10 years and y'all trying to figure it out and readjust, do the compatible. If y'all been together for 5 years and y'all still trying to but I'll need both people on the line. I need both of them on the line because I'm going to tell you about your bull crap and I'm going to tell you about their bull crap. Then I'm going to show you how to turn that crap into sugar. And if you want to work with it, that's up to you. Because at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. People lie to themselves. And when I say numbers don't lie, I mean natural numbers. I mean numbers connected to your birthday, your name. They don't lie. Now, it can be manipulated if you have systems like census and all that kind of. It can be manipulated by computer systems. But when it comes to your birthday and your name, it don't lie. It don't lie. It's objective. And it's here to give you guidance, not control you, to guide you to your highest and your wisest, to make you better. That's all I'm about. That's the intention from my heart. Like Professor Smalls, I come with integrity when it comes to this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. That's why I thank people like one of my teachers, like Lloyd Strayhorn or Baba James Smalls or Les Brown, who taught me and many others for a whole month. That's why I love those energies that I picked up along the years. That's why I collect books and I read and I study so I can incorporate it. And I use my numerovation. It's not numerology I do. Numerovation, I use numbers to give you guidance, motivation, so you can take it to the next level. Whether you do it or not, like I said, numbers are simple. I can break down the numbers and help you to activate it. But at the end of the day, people are complicated. People, because of all the traumas and dramas and hurt that you've been through. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I got my own system, Akua. I use numbers holistically. I use Chaldean, I use Pythagorean, I use cosmic numerology, I use Chinese numerology if I have to. I use them all because, like Dr. Afrika said, he told me and his wife told me, be holistic about it. I'm not going to limit myself to Pythagorean and Chaldean only. When you got cosmic and you got this type, when there were Chinese, you got Japanese numerology. I don't limit myself. You got Gematria, you got Kabbalah. I got all these books on and study all of them and still studying because I'm forever a student. I'm not a master teacher. I'm a master student ascending to be the greatest I can be in what I do. And even when I reach that, I'm still learning. Even when I reach that, I'm still learning. And that's what I love about life in this world. Because remember, Earth is the learning center. That's what we're talking about. This is the learning center. So on that note, family, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh and get some knowledge. I want to thank Professor Smalls for coming through. And I want to say greetings and bye to you. Love y'all. Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, peace, Islam, Ayari, Wagwan, Liata, be blessed. And let me end with my song, We Only Got One Life to Live. Remember, this song is going to be turned into a children's book. with the song attached to it. So we only have one life to live. Be safe. Be one. Ashe. Take care.
We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. And we gotta live it. Don't even climb on negative vibes. Cause you won't make it. No matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live, and we got to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. We should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people that we know, the life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this dance, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people they know that life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this test, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life anyway. Yeah. Oh.